Imagine this. You're watching Moana for the 100th time, enchanted by the relationship between the young heroine and the playful demigod Maui. But suddenly, an unexpected thought strikes. What if this relationship is much more than friendship and partnership? What if Moana is actually Maui's daughter? It might seem like an absurd idea at first glance, but when you start connecting the dots, the evidence begins to shine like stars in the Polynesian night sky. Within the movie's scenes, Polynesian myths, and even Maui's dialogues, something is hidden that could completely change the way we view this story. From the moment Moana decides to leave the safety of her island to save the world, something is clear. She's not just an ordinary teenager. Sure, her determination is inspiring, but there's more to it. Let's analyze the extraordinary situations she faces in the film. Anyone else would have perished halfway through the journey. Moana, however, survives unscathed. How is that possible? First, there's the scene where she falls into the ocean during a devastating storm. The boat is destroyed, the waves are enormous, and yet she manages to reach an island without a single scratch. Then, there's the moment she faces the wrath of Te Ka, a powerful and dangerous entity. Despite the chaos, Moana emerges from every battle virtually untouched. And that's not all. Moana has a unique connection with the ocean. It chooses her as a child and protects her throughout her journey. But the theory suggests this didn't happen just because she saved a turtle, a cute gesture, but too simplistic to justify such devotion. Instead, the ocean recognized something divine in Moana. She wouldn't just be chosen but rather a demigoddess, a direct descendant of a higher entity. This status would explain how Moana can perceive things beyond ordinary human comprehension. She talks to her grandmother's spirit, interacts with Te Fiti, confronts magical creatures like Tamatoa, and enters Lalotai, the realm of monsters, something impossible for mere mortals. Even Maui and Tamatoa are surprised by her presence in this underworld. And do you notice how she naturally adapts to these environments? It's almost as if they were part of her. Is all this just luck? Or could Moana have inherited these special gifts from someone very powerful, like her possible father, Maui? This is where the theory starts gaining traction. One of the most fascinating things about Moana is how Disney deeply immersed itself in Polynesian culture, incorporating authentic elements of mythology and folklore. And it's precisely in this context that the theory of Moana being Maui's daughter begins to solidify. To understand this, we need to look beyond the surface and explore the hidden meanings behind the names, legends, and symbols in the movie. Let's start with her grandmother's name, Tala. In Polynesian mythology, Tala is associated with the goddess of the stars, and the grandmother's role in the movie is to guide Moana through the stars, even after her death, when she returns as a luminous stingray. This detail reinforces the idea that Moana comes from a lineage with a divine connection. Now, let's examine her mother's name, Sina. In the mythology, there's a legend about a young woman named Sina who is courted by a lovesick eel. When the eel is killed by her husband, it is buried and gives rise to a coconut tree. Here's the curious detail. In the song You're Welcome, Maui mentions this story, suggesting that he planted the eel himself. Could Maui be the husband from the legend, and Sina, Moana's mother, his wife? This not only connects the two characters but also lends credibility to the idea that Moana is the result of this union. Polynesian mythology also gives us another crucial insight. Maui is not just a hero, he's a demigod with a gigantic reputation. He shapes the world with his feats and is deeply respected, or feared, by mortals and other divine entities. But what would happen if he had a child with a mortal? The result would be a child with exceptional powers, someone who could inherit Maui's strength and resilience. And who fits this description better than Moana? Another strong point of the theory is Moana's ability to enter the monster realm, Lalotai, and come out unharmed. Lalotai is described by the directors as Polynesia's underworld, inspired by Pelotu, a place inaccessible to humans. Only gods, spirits, or individuals with a supernatural connection could reach this place. Moana's ease in navigating this domain is another clue to her divine origin. These cultural elements are not accidental. Disney often adds layers of meaning to its movies, and perhaps they planted these seeds for fans to theorize and expand Moana's universe. If Moana is truly Maui's daughter, this raises a crucial question. How did the mighty demigod end up connected to Sina, Moana's mother? The answer might be hidden between the lines of the movie and the mythological stories Disney honors. In the song You're Welcome, Maui casually mentions planting an eel in the ground, which grew into a coconut tree. This seems like a funny anecdote, but it's a direct reference to the legend of Sina and the eel, a famous story from Polynesian mythology. According to this legend, Sina had an eel that loved her obsessively. When her husband discovered this, he killed the eel and buried it, and from the spot, a coconut tree grew. Now, consider this. What if Maui were Sina's husband in this story? This possibility places Maui directly in the role of protector and partner to Sina, reinforcing the connection proposed by the theory. Moreover, if this legend is intertwined with the film's narrative, Moana would naturally be the heir to this union, carrying a link between the divine and the human. Although Maui and Sina never interact directly in the movie, there are small details suggesting they share a history. For example, the song You're Welcome could be interpreted as Maui's message to Moana, but also as a reminder of his past. He mentions many of his heroic deeds, including events that could be connected to Sina's life. Another clue is Sina's attitude toward Moana's journey. Unlike her father, who is protective and reluctant to let her go, Sina seems to fully trust her daughter and doesn't stop her. This could be explained by her knowing that Moana is not an ordinary mortal. After all, who better to survive the ocean and restore Te Whiti's heart than a demigoddess, Maui's daughter? If we accept this theory, it also changes the way we view the relationship between Moana and Maui throughout the film. Also, consider the pig Pua, which many believe is a reference to Kamapua, Maui's son in mythology. In theory, Pua would be Moana's brother, reinforcing the idea of a more complex family dynamic. While this may seem absurd, there's no denying that Disney loves to hide subtle messages and connections in its films. What if everything you thought you knew about Moana is about to change? The idea that Moana is Maui's daughter not only adds a new layer to the movie but also transforms the narrative into something much deeper. She ceases to be just a brave young woman chosen by the ocean and becomes part of a divine lineage destined for greatness. Throughout the film, Moana demonstrates characteristics beyond human abilities, from surviving impossible challenges to her unique connection with the ocean and the spiritual world. These traits perfectly align with the idea that she is a demigoddess. Furthermore, the mythological and cultural details Disney incorporated into the movie, such as Tala, Sina, Pua, and the legend of the eel and the coconut tree, support the theory that Moana could be the product of a union between Maui and Sina. Of course, the theory has its limitations. Moana doesn't possess evident supernatural powers, which would be expected of a demigoddess. Additionally, Maui had been missing for 1,000 years, making it unlikely he had a recent relationship with Sina. If Moana is indeed Maui's daughter, it completely changes how we view the film. Her journey to restore Te Whiti's heart becomes more than a mission to save her people. It becomes a personal quest to reconnect with her absent father. It's a story about identity, legacy, and how heroes are shaped by both their actions and their origins. Now, the final question is for you. What do you think of this theory? Could Moana really be Maui's daughter, or is this just a cleverly planted coincidence by Disney to make us wonder? Share your opinion. Who knows? Together we might uncover more hidden secrets in this enchanting universe.